Harlem is reeling from betrayal, heartache, and anger after Jim Jones was recently sentenced to prison. What do you do when the guy you trusted with your life ends up destroying everything? Cameron, his day one brother, delivered the final blow, but that wasn't even the worst part. In a cruel turn of events that no one anticipated, Cameron's own family just revealed devastatingly scandalous information about Chrissy. As the cameras rolled and the streets continued to chatter, Chrissy was seen sobbing as her entire world crashed in front of her, leaving everything standing and trapped between shame and treachery. Tonight, whether it's justice or sheer retaliation, we uncover the reality they attempted to conceal, revealing covert betrayals, intense rivalries, and a controversy so raw that Harlem is poised to explode. Stay tuned, because after you hear what transpired, you won't want to leave. You will never view loyalty the same way inside those closed doors again. In history, there have been times when events have taken an unexpected turn, and nothing is ever the same again. Jim Jones, once an untouchable, yes, you read correctly, the notorious Dipset rapper, whom we all believed to be above the law, was found guilty and given a prison sentence. The news came as a shock, and just when the story doesn't end there, people, because as if the courtroom drama wasn't enough, Cameron, yes, the same Cameron who's known for her actions, dropped a bombshell that none of us saw coming. He has already been attacked for his scathing remarks and quick wit, and the worst part is that it's all because he revealed Chrissy's darkest secrets. Secrets so startling that even the most resilient of us had to stop and consider them. What actually transpires behind the scenes of their public persona? You can already sense the tension in the air, don't you? Jim Jones is in prison, his empire is in ruins, and Cameron is now caught in a tornado of chaos. But hold on, there's more. What if I told you that the drama goes far deeper, darker, and more twisted than simply a few secrets being revealed? Let's dissect it. You know Jim Jones' reputation in hip-hop, his role as a leader in diplomacy, and his street power, but you were unaware that his demise was years in the making, a slow fire that no one could put out. For some time now, the industry's rumors have been getting louder. On his dubious dealings, connections, and dubious individuals he has been hanging out with. Nobody could have foreseen that it would get to this point. Speaking of connections, let's talk about Cameron when he dropped the bomb on "We believed that everyone's game was over" Chrissy. But what actually transpired? Who was controlling the scenario? And what did Chrissy have to lose that would cause her to react the way she did? And whether this whole thing could have been prevented, or was it destined to explode up in their faces? Let's start with Jim Jones, who was always more than just a rapper. He was a brand and a symbol. But it's easy to overlook what's beyond that glossy facade, that these public personalities frequently have more going on than we realize. Claims of corruption, dubious relationships, and treachery are no longer rumors. They are facts, and these facts are the very reason for Jim Jones' incarceration. Sources with knowledge of the case have released incriminating information linking Jim to criminal activity that goes beyond what any rap career could account for. We're talking about the kind of information that has the potential to bring down entire empires, money laundering, unscrupulous business dealings, and worse. No, this isn't some crazy conspiracy theory. We have witness testimony, records, and indisputable proof that connects Jim to illegal activity that was allowed to continue unchecked for an excessive amount of time. However, this is where things get interesting. Chrissy Lampin is the woman at the center of this controversy. If you thought this was just about Jim, you're mistaken. The true story is what happens when someone's secrets are revealed. Chrissy's involvement, her link to the criminal underworld, and the extent she would go to in order to keep the secrets she has been keeping for years. Suddenly, what was once private becomes public, and Cameron did just that. He bravely faced the flames to reveal Chrissy's true nature. But was it worth it because of his friendship and the truth? Deserved the criticism because, once you take back the curtain, there's no turning back. The entire sequence is a convoluted and dubious display of power struggles. Jim's demise was not only his own, it was a mirror of those around him who made it possible for him to succeed and are now witnessing his downfall in real time. Chrissy, however, is at the center of it all, holding the will. Delve into the plot as it develops. Skeletons in her closet that could more than Jim. So where does this leave Cameron? Trapped in the middle, fighting his own issues while attempting to navigate a world of secrets and betrayal. Deeper look at what went wrong, how the players got involved, and why things are going to get much messier. However, before we do that, let's take a moment to realize how big of a situation we're witnessing. This isn't just this is a high-stakes game of survival, betrayal, and power, and all of these players are going to suffer the repercussions. So how did it all go wrong for Jim Jones? And what dark secrets is Chrissy concealing, and why? As we continue to uncover the layers of this terrible story, we go deeper into the web of lies, betrayals, and secrets that have been meticulously concealed from the public eye. Did Cameron sacrifice everything to reveal the truth? Jim, as the repercussions from Cameron's startling discoveries continues to emerge, Jones sits behind bars facing charges that might define the rest of his life. And let me tell you people, what Cameron revealed isn't just drama. It's the type of we are all familiar with Chrissy Lumpkin, who has always been Jim's pillar of strength and loyalty. However, what if I told you that loyalty is nothing more than a designed mask concealing a lady who has been engaging in a far more ambitious game than anyone could have ever imagined? The fact is that Chrissy has been concealing some dark secrets that, if revealed, may completely alter the way we view her. Relationship with Jim Jones. As you can see, Chrissy's efforts to safeguard Jim's arrest were more than simply him. For years, she has been the gatekeeper, tightly controlling the empire Jim established to safeguard their brand. And picture, however, what happens when that gate is broken open and the truth spills out? The information about Chrissy's role in these nefarious activities has been gradually leaking out, and what we've discovered is nothing less than synopsis to the general public. Chrissy was Jim's devoted partner and supportive fiancée who was always there for him, but in private, she was a different person. One who was willing to stop at nothing to safeguard the riches and influence they had amassed. Let's dissect it. One of the most significant findings from Cameron's expose was Chrissy's purported participation in a number of illicit financial transactions that spans a number of years. Cameron, in his customary straightforward manner, didn't only allude to these operations, he revealed everything. There were offshore accounts, dubious individuals transferring funds in and out of the nation, and transactions with underworld characters that nobody dared to question. But this is where things get even more complicated. Several unnamed sources claim that Chrissy wasn't merely a spectator. Although Jim may have been the public face of his criminal business, some insiders assert that Chrissy was the mastermind behind several crucial decisions. Her boyfriend, she was a co-conspirator in several of these illicit dealings. In the background, Chrissy was manipulating events to safeguard their resources and strengthen their control over the game. Picture Chrissy, the woman we've all seen on reality TV with the hazardous secrets she keeps. Oh no, it goes further than that. Chrissy had her hands in some fairly shady places where dangerous people and criminal activity were present, and they might destroy not only Jim's career but also hers. Actions and dangers that could jeopardize not only her life, but also her future. I get what you're thinking. How did we get here? How did Chrissy change from the person we all believe to be devoted? The more we investigate Chrissy's role, the more we find reports from multiple reliable sources suggesting she may have been linked with organized crime. According to insiders, Chrissy was not only unaware of Jim's activities, but also an eager participant in money laundering schemes that helped transfer millions of dollars through phony charities and legal enterprises. It's a prime illustration of the type of double life that many people in the entertainment industry lead, where public celebrities project a flawless image while simultaneously acting as the understanding fiancé in front of the cameras. We're working covertly, but let's not overlook Cameron, the one item that truly jeopardized the entire operation. When Cameron revealed Chrissy's involvement, it sent shockwaves through the gloves came off when he said something that went beyond simply criticizing Chrissy. It challenged the cornerstone of the empire that Jim and Chrissy had created. But why did Cameron do it? Why risk everything to exposing Chrissy, whom he had previously regarded as a friend and close confidant? However, according to people close to Cameron, he wasn't acting maliciously. Rather, Cameron felt that the public deserved to know the truth. He wasn't ready to let celebrities like Jim and Chrissy get away with their glitzy lives, and he deserved to know the truth about them. Ultimately, it wasn't just about getting even, it was about revealing the darker side of a world that's frequently kept out of the public eye. Now, you may be wondering what the impact will be like for Chrissy, Jim, and even Cameron. It's one thing to reveal a secret, but it's another to bear the consequences. Repercussions. Cameron's disclosures have had a ripple effect on the entertainment industry, with some fans supporting Jim and Chrissy and others demanding justice. However, there is no denying that the reputation of the formerly impenetrable marriage has been destroyed, and while the world looks on, Chrissy's world is falling apart around her. Her hold on her empire is getting loosened with every new discovery. But the real question is still whether she will be able to weather this storm, or is this the start of the end for her? What about Jim? Can he handle the fallout from these exposés given his growing legal issues, or is he really? As the dust settles following Cameron's devastating expose, the real consequence is starting to emerge, and it's more repulsive than anybody could have predicted. Agent Jim Jones was once a renowned figure in Harlem and beyond. Now that federal prosecutors have the bombshell accusations made by Cameron and the backing of anonymous sources, he is not only fighting legal issues but also facing the complete collapse of everything he constructed. Whistleblowers. The legal situation around Jim is rapidly becoming more complex. According to insiders, prosecutors have already launched a comprehensive investigation into Jim's financial actions, using Cameron's leaks as a guide. Former colleagues are being called as jurors, and in courtrooms crowded with reporters and federal agents, confidential transactions that were previously discussed behind closed doors are now being revealed. In an unfortunate turn of events, Chrissy's efforts to shield Jim over the years may have ultimately sealed their fates, according to sources close to the case. Jim is being targeted along with everyone else who had any contact with the empire. That Chrissy's name is on a number of important financial documents that are currently being reviewed by the federal government and may link her to conspiracy, money laundering, and obstruction of justice charges. Social media is in complete turmoil while fans were arguing that Cameron was being petty. Breaking news notifications started to appear on all platforms, confirming that a full-scale federal inquiry was under progress. Chrissy was more than just a ride-or-die fiancée. She might have been a co-defendant. Twitter and Instagram went into overdrive, and TikTok theorists began sharing in-depth analyses of the timelines, the connections, the missing money. It was more than just a scandal. It was the year's biggest scandal. Meanwhile, Jim Jones is deteriorating due to the strain. Court sketches reveal him to be shattered and hollowed out, not at all like the rebellious rapper, who formerly ruled stages and music charts. According to confidential sources, he has been frantically attempting to work out a bargain that would reduce his jail term. But there's a catch. In order to rescue himself, he could have to turn on Chrissy. Imagine insiders close to the case claim that Jim, the man Chrissy fought for all these years, may have betrayed her in order to save his own skin. It's the kind of horrible irony that even Hollywood couldn't plot better. Jim is being offered a drastically reduced sentence by federal prosecutors in exchange for testifying against his longtime girlfriend, and the FBI are very interested in Chrissy. However, that isn't the whole story. Guess what? The IRS and Department of Justice are now encroaching to confiscate the costly vacations, fancy clothes, exotic automobiles, and luxurious residences that Jim and Chrissy have been showing off on social media for years. Jewelry, every real estate property, is being examined, audited, and in some cases repossessed. It's a catastrophic collapse to fuel an already blazing fire. Other celebrities are starting to cut ties with Jim, and Chrissy. Longtime industry acquaintances have abruptly stopped talking to one another. Endorsement deals have been canceled, and reality TV producers are allegedly sifting through old film of the according to rumors. The pair is so upset behind the scenes that Mona Scott-Young, the executive producer of Love and Chewy Hip Hop, is frantically trying to figure out ways to lessen the association. As if Chrissy Lampkin were being wiped in real time, she is thinking about reediting earlier reunion shows to completely minimize her presence. As for Cameron, whether he likes him or not, he is unfazed and standing firm. Cameron is collecting thousands of followers as Jim and Chrissy's every Instagram live he makes seems like a victory lap. In the court of public opinion, Cameron not only won, but also destroyed the opposition. Nevertheless, there is an underlying sadness to all of this. His message sends followers into yet another frenzy. More than simply adversaries, Jim Jones and Cameron were brothers in arms, partners, and family. What we're seeing isn't just the demise of careers, it's the end of a dynasty. The Dipset heritage, which was once thought to be unbreakable, now rests in ruins brought down by arrogance, treachery, and greed, and the ramifications extend well beyond Jim and Chrissy. Harlem is in mourning. Jim was a symbol of endurance and accomplishment, albeit one with flaws. Against all odds, that symbol has now been broken, leaving a deep, terrible wound that might never completely heal. Meanwhile, Chrissy's future is still in doubt, with Jim potentially turning against her once glitzy life. Might soon be confined to a hard, frigid prison cell. Rumor has it that Chrissy has already hired one of New York's greatest criminal defense teams. But even the best attorneys are unable to remove evidence or reverse years of dubious behavior. Transactions, not to mention that the public is watching everything. The same viewers who once applauded Chrissy's romantic proposals on national television are now scrutinizing every document, interview, and the last nail in the coffin is the strange money trail with merciless precision. Anonymous leaks indicate that other associates connected to Jim and Chrissy may face new prosecutions. This isn't simply a tale of two people falling out of favor. It's about business partners, old pals, and even other names that haven't come to light yet but are reportedly involved in the same corruption scandal. Imagine a whole house of cards collapsing and taking all those involved into the rubble. The key question is still whether Jim and Chrissy will accept the consequences together or separate as the last court dates draw near. Loyalty is simply another term for collateral damage in this game, so they turned on one another in a last-ditch effort to survive. Then the empire fell apart, leaving Jim Jones facing the prison walls and Chrissy Lampkin looking down. Cameron, staring from the front row with the sneer of a guy who knew this day would come, betrayed the man she had vowed was everything to her. The real issue is, though, was it worth it to chase the money, the fame, and the false? The Dipset dream was always bound to crumble under the weight of its own secrets, and most importantly, who is truly at fault here? Jim, Chrissy, Cameron, Harlem itself. Because in a society where loyalty is worth losing everything they built after all the scandals, do you think Jim Jones deserves a second chance? Should Chrissy be held accountable if the accusations are true? Loyalty is purchased, love is weaponized, and secrets are currency. No one gets away clean. Let me know in the comments if you think Cameron was a hero for revealing the truth, or if he was simply a snake playing a bigger game. I'm reading everything, so don't hold back. If you thought this was messy, trust me, what's coming next is the business is going to be rocked even more by even more bizarre new disclosures, betrayals, and collapses. So be sure to click like and subscribe if you not yet, and switch on your alerts to ensure you never miss the actual tales they would want you not to hear, because we don't only drink we spill the entire pot. Stay locked.